What's up, Royals? Today I'm going to talk to you about the piebald ball python. I'll show you some examples. I think everybody should keep them, and let me tell you why. So why don't I show you some animals while I explain why I think pied is a great mutation. Looking at this, you can see that it's clearly very different than all the other mutations and combos, being that this has very distinct differences in its pattern. You have pattern and you have complete white. Absolutely gorgeous. To be frank with you, when I first saw this, it didn't really appeal to me. I kind of thought that, hey, this is so weird looking, but it's that same weirdness that attracted me to this, and I think it's the reason why this is so popular with entry people getting into this hobby for the first time. If you show this to somebody versus a normal or some kind of other combination like a clown or a desert ghost, even though we as breeders who have been in this are experienced to know that those animals have, you know, all these different other avenues, the pied still attracts the most attention, especially at shows. And I'll tell you, I get a lot of interest on my morph market with people who are looking for pieds. This one happens to be a normal pied, and he happens to be a high white pied, meaning that there's a lot of white and very few splotches of pattern. And then this one over here has more pattern and less white. So you can see that even within the same mutation, which is the straight up pied, there's an extra dimension for you to select from. Some people like high whites, some people like low whites, some people like medium whites. This one I would say is considered low white, but it has just enough to stand out and let you know that this is indeed a pied, and this is a beautiful little guy right here. So you don't have this ratio with any of the other morphs or combinations. It's only in pied. Hey guys, we got to take a quick pause for our sponsor. This video is sponsored by ShedTesting.com. Fast, reliable service. Visit ShedTesting.com to get your snakes genetically tested and take the guesswork out of your breeding projects. ShedTesting.com is my go-to for all my shed tests. If you have any sheds that need to be tested, check out ShedTesting.com. While you're there, you can use my promo code KAI10 for 10% off your next shed order. And those of you who have already used that promo code, don't worry, Charlie and I are discussing how we can reset that for you, so stay tuned. That weirdness or wow factor that drew you to the pied gene is going to be apparent when you show this off to your friend, your family member, people who may not have experience in ball pythons are going to look at this and be like, wow, that looks really, really different. And it is. If you showed off a clown or a tri-stripe or a puzzle, even though they may have a heavier price tag, you're not going to get the same reaction as you will with a pied. I started purchasing pieds in, I think, 2018. And then this came out. This caught my eye. This is a orange dream pied, and you can just see how much more vibrant and orange this one is in comparison to the regular pied. All that brown has just gone away, and now you get this deep orange. It is just absolutely gorgeous, and these were going for like over $3,000. You could not get one for less than $3,000. You would be lucky if you could find one available, and we took this and made it even better. The Orange Dream created so much interest in the hobby that people thought it would be the perfect base to start adding more codoms to it. This one right here has yellow belly added on top of it, so it's an Orange Dream yellow belly pied, and you can see how much that yellow belly has influenced the color. It's now very pixelated. Same goes for the blacks and orange. You can see it's very defined line now, whereas before there was a bit of a blur. Such vibrant colors, such contrast, and of course this white is just so weird, but it's eye-catching and it's going to draw a lot of interest. So then in this hobby, after we realized that Orange Dream and Yellow Belly works really well, we started to play with these two genes quite a bit, adding more on top of the combination, taking some away and changing out those genes, just kind of plugging and playing. I mean, it's not like Legos, but it was a lot of experimenting. Here's another beautiful pied combination, and all we did here was we removed the yellow belly and added another dose of Orange Dream. So this is what we call a super because it has two doses of the Orange Dream gene. And if you want to rewind and take a look at the first Orange Dream pied I showed you and compare it with this one, you can see how much cleaner and brighter and more orange it is. It's not the same as the Yellow Belly Orange Dream, but it's still extremely, extremely beautiful. And just imagine what we can do when we add Yellow Belly on top of this one. One cool factor, or I should say another cool factor about the pied, is that it produces smiley faces, emojis, jack-o'-lanterns, whatever you want to call it. You get these, and this is, again, it's random, so when you see something like that, it's just a surprise. It's just an added bonus to this project, and again, it makes your animal unique. When I go to reptile shows, when I'm vending at them, pieds are the #1 attraction. All the new people who are in this hobby or coming into this hobby are looking for pieds. They love the way the pieds look. It's just absolutely unique. And again, these are extremely affordable now. Something like this you can probably find very readily at shows. And if you can't find them at shows, again, I have them on my Morph Market page. The link is down in the description. If you see something you like, definitely reach out and inquire on it. Quick pause for our sponsor. This video is sponsored by Redline Shipping. Excellent products and services. Redline Shipping will take care of all your shipping needs. Go give them a try over at redlineshipping.com. I know I can count on Redline Shipping for their service and their support. If you have any shipping needs, head on over to redlineshipping.com, and while you're there, you can use my promo code KAI5 for $5 off your next shipping label. This right here is a Super Orange Dream Yellow Belly pied. And I'm purposely showing you these animals in this order to kind of give you an idea of how a project like this would progress. We started with the regular pied, we added 1 dose of Orange Dream, then we experimented and found another key element, which is the Yellow Belly. Then we took away the Yellow Belly and added another dose of Orange Dream. Then we thought, hey, let's put all of that together. So now we have a Super Orange Dream Yellow Belly, and you can see that the colors are extremely, extremely clean. You don't have any bit of that dusting or dirtiness, yet you still keep that crisp coloration, that deep, rich oranges with the high contrast between the orange and the white and the orange and the black. However, this animal being such high white, you don't really get a good feel for how beautiful that mark is because there's just not much of it. And like I mentioned earlier, the white to pattern ratio is not something that you can really control, but there are some genes that can somewhat impact the pied ratio a little bit. And by adding those genes, we could add more pattern or take away some pattern. At least that's the hope. This right here is a Enchi pied, and you can see how much pattern the Enchi leaves on a pied. It's definitely still pied because you can see the white belly, and it still has some of the whites coming up the sides. But the point is, Enchi keeps a lot of the pattern, which is what we need, so that when we make these beautiful combinations, we can still have the pattern to look at and get some of the whites as contrast. Here's an example how Enchi is utilized. This is what I believe to be Enchi or Super Enchi Orange Dream Cypress pied. And you can see how even though we added a bunch of genes, it still maintained a lot of the pattern. You do still get some of the white bleeding through. That adds that weird factor or that intriguing factor. And so you still have all that. Unfortunately, this isn't shed, but I just wanted to show this off to you just to give you an idea of the different ways this project can evolve, and you just have to experiment. And here's another example of how Enchi works really well in the pied project. This one is a Enchi hypo pied. So what we did here was we took 2 recessives, the pied and the hypo, we combined it, and then we stacked on Enchi to try to keep some of that pattern. If color is not your thing, maybe the complete lack of color might interest you. This is an Axanthic pied. We actually have a few lines of Axanthic in this hobby. This one is the one that I work with, which is the VPI Axanthic. It's also a recessive mutation. So again, we are combining 2 recessive mutations, the pied and the Axanthic, to create this beautiful animal. Instead of all those oranges, we have the silver, we still have the blacks, we have grays, and of course we have the whites. So you can say that this animal doesn't have color, it's just got different shades. So I wanted to show you that you can take this project in many, many directions and a lot of them do turn out to be absolutely gorgeous. Just the base itself is beautiful, so it's no wonder adding a few genes just improves the overall look of the pied. And here's another direction that the ball python was taken into. This is a form of albinism called candy. There's many forms of albinism in the ball python hobby. I really enjoy working with the candy because it still has a little bit of color, even though this one you can't tell much. But as it ages, the candy actually produces some lavender color. There's actually another form of albinism called the lavender albino, so that might be something that you would be interested in. In fact, the lavender albino pied is called a dreamsicle. But the whole point is that there are many directions that we've taken this project in, and many of them have been successful. Many of them should continue to grow. Some of them are still growing, and some are still yet to be discovered. There's a lot of other directions that are unexplored. It's probably going to take somebody who is new to the hobby with a new fresh set of eyes to help discover another pathway for this project. And that person could be you. That about wraps it up for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you're new to this channel and you want to be informed of future uploads, make sure you're subscribed and ring that notification bell. As always, thanks for watching. Please share, and remember, Royals for life. Peace out.